Hi, so the book I chose to do is All the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss, and there are two reasons that I chose this book. And the main reason is because in my fourth grade class, I had this teacher, her name was Mrs. Albert, and she did reading points where we would all have to read books, and then there would be like a 10-question quiz that is online that you get points for depending on like what book you read. So some books may be 10 points, some maybe 5, and there can be some up to 30, which are the longer books, sort of like the Harry Potter novels and literature like in that nature. So what she did was there was a little trophy almost where if you were the highest of the four highest people in the class would get their name put on a plaque and they would get put on the trophy. So what she would do is when you graduated high school, she would send you that little plaque with your name on it, and she would also send a book with it that she thought would be best for the personality that she thought you had when you were a child, or if she still knew you to that day, then the person how she thought the book would fit you now. So the book that she sent me was "Oh, the Places You'll Go." And I didn't really think anything of the book at first because I had really only heard of the title because Dr. Seuss is just such a famous author and it's a famous book. But other than that, I hadn't read it or really looked into it, you know what I mean? But when I got the book, she put a little note in the front or whatever, and I decided that, yeah, I'd give it a read because she took all that time to send all that stuff to me. So I read it, and it was actually pretty interesting to me because it correlates both to like my life, say right now, and a child's life, because we're all trying to go down the right street as portrayed in the book, but or make the right decisions to put ourselves in the best situation we possibly can during life. So that's why I liked it because of my teacher. But another reason is I like how it tells both sides. It says you will go down the right street, but at the same time, it also says that you're gonna have hardships and hard times that you have to be able to get through. So the line that I like in the beginning, the line is, with your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're way too smart to go down a not so good street. So that line just stood out to me to the rest. I mean, it's a good rhyme just like everything else in his book, but the way I portrayed it is that if you have your mindset on a task and you try to actually pursue it and you genuinely put the work in and go after it, then you're probably going to end up in the right spot in the end result. So I think Dr. Seuss is just trying to say, just relax. It's going to work out. You just have to keep trusting yourself and just keep moving forward. Try to avoid all bad situations that you can, because sometimes, obviously, you can't, as stated in the book, that you're going to have hard times not. But at least try to avoid situations that are putting you in harm's way or putting your future in jeopardy, so you can try to stay in like a positive headspace, because a positive headspace is very important. I think this book also helps show that if your mind is right, then normally you'll be able to get to the goals that you have set for yourself. So for the second part, where they talk about how you're gonna have hardships and situations like that you have to deal with, and it's not all gonna be sunflowers and sunshine. So one of the lines that I really liked was, "You can get so confused that you'll start into a race down long wiggled rows at a breaknecking pace and grind on for miles across weird wild space, heading, I fear, to a most useless place." And I feel like that's actually a very powerful quote because when things start to go wrong, people start to panic and get hectic and they want to do everything really fast. They want to get it done with immediately and they want to try to resolve it as quickly as possible. But for the most part, you can't really do that. You have to try to stay calm, cool, and collective and brainstorm and actually use your brain and think about the best ways in which you are going to resolve the situation. Because if not, if you're just rushing, then most likely you're going to make it even worse and you're going to put yourself in a worse situation than what you were in. But if you take the time to stop and relax and just look at everything around you, for the most part, you can figure out what is wrong and what you need to do to fix it. And the end part of that quote, where they say a useless place, is a very scary use of words, I believe, because the words useless place is just, it sounds debilitating almost. It's just like, you're going to nowhere. Whatever you're doing right now is just leading to nothing, and that's not the case. There's going to be hiccups along the way that it's going to feel like, why did I even do this? Why did I go out and go make that money or do that homework when it's just leading me to absolutely nothing? But it's just a little part of it that may seem useless to you, but in the end, it actually helps. It may seem like it's not helping you at all, but you could be picking up just little skills and ideas along the way that you don't even realize, but you will use eventually in the future, and you look back and be like, oh, hey, so that's why I did it, and it actually was useful. I just needed to be patient and wait instead of thinking, all right, I need to be able to use this right now. This needs to help me right now. So that's why I like this book, and I would probably ask my students, do they think they're going down a path where they're going to a useless place, or do they think they're going on the right path to a place of flourishment? It's it all depends, I guess. I'm really curious what they would have to say about that and what they would think about the quote. Now, the standards that I think this book would cover are uh, the PK through 2 ELA standards, and the first one would be Keys and Ideas 1R2, and it's identify main topic or central idea in a text and retell the important details. And then the second one is Key Ideas and Details KR1, develop and answer questions about text. And then the third one I found is Craft and Structure KR4, identify specific words that express feelings and senses. And that is all I have for you. Thank you.